Hi, this is Lisa with Coping with Yarn, and today I am going to, I know I've been keeping you in suspense, so Cindy from Pups and Crochet, here it is. Here's the moment that you've been waiting for, the Legend of Face Rock. So, I'm going to read it to you. Sitka, the evil spirit of the ocean, lived along the coast. No good came from him. All the coast tribes feared him, for they knew how dangerous and treacherous he was. The tribes of the far mountain feared him not, and when they came to the coast to trade, they brought with them their families, horses and dogs, and the children carried their pets. The great chief Siskiyou was coming that Chinook moon of long ago, bringing with him his beautiful daughter, Iwana. This being a great honor, a potlatch was planned by the 4 chiefs of the coast. Nikoma, being the strongest of them all, was appointed by the 3 other chiefs manager of the affair. Now, because of the determination to show how prosperous the coast nations were, the potlatch of all potlatches were decided upon. The days before the potlatch were busy days of the coast tribes. Nikoma ordered great quantities of clams and mussels gathered and placed in huge mounds covered with sea moss and spicy leaves of the myrtle tree, ready for the fires. 8 fat bear were ready also for the hot spit. The elks brought 100 salmon cleaned and ready for spit of green willow boughs, which glowed driftwood fires, the hot coals of which were best for the roasting. The old squaws tended these. The 6s brought the meat of dozen elk, the rogues 20 cayuses loaded with deer dressed ready for the feast. Under a long arbor of cedar trees the tables were placed. Logs split down the middle were used with the flat side up. From cedar bark the squaws made huge trays which were filled with huckleberries and wild honey. Spoons of the clamshells, plates of bark, and cups hollowed from burnt wood kept the squaws busy, although plenty of time was allowed for the preparations. On the hills back of the camp, a lookout was placed to herald the approaching visitors. On the bluff, armed warriors were watching so that Sitka could not cause trouble. With a yell, the runners tell of the coming of the Siskiyou, a day and night off. Into the pit go to the bear, elk, and deer, covered deep with hot bark. The clams are not cooked until the last hour before the feast. First to arrive was Chief Siskiyou with the beautiful daughter. He encamped at some distance from the potlatch grounds. Iwana had never before seen the ocean. To her it was most beautiful, for she thought that at last she had found the place where the beautiful clouds were made, that she saw each day from her home in the mountains. She laughed at the warnings of the old men to be careful not to wander alone near the bluff, as Sitka might see her and claim her for his own. She brought with her her dog Comax and her cat and kittens, which she carried in a basket. Her father had bought the cat from a French trapper who had carried it from Montreal. The cats and kittens were great curiosities to the coast tribes, who had never before seen a domestic cat. The wonder of the Tinus Puspus was passed from tribe to tribe. In the early morn of the second day came the 4 chiefs dressed in their magnificent regalia. Nikoma, with salutations of goodwill, magnanimously presented his gift of wampum, inviting the great chief and his people to the greatest of all potlatches, given in honor of the magnitude of Chief Siskiyou's power. This impressed the great chief, and he accepted with stoical indifference. The 4 chiefs were followed by Chief Siskiyou, and in single file the men were followed by the women. The wind wafted the odors of the great viands of the feast. It quickened their steps. Soon all were seated, and Nikoma gave the welcome talk. Klakahama, my friend. Klakahama, talk to Great Spirit. Great Spirit, talk to Klakahama. I make plenty sun. Plenty grass, plenty bear, plenty elk, plenty fish. I make plenty. Eat, eat. All day they feasted until drunk with food. They slept where they sat, and Iwana slipped away from the sleeping camp. Calling her dog and taking her cat and kittens, she started for the beach. She wished to see old Wakoma, the sea, making the white clouds. The full Chinook moon hung low over the sea, lucid, resplendent in all its glory. Iwana ran and danced with delight, singing her dance song to the moon. So happy she was with the grandeur of the beautiful Wakoma. She danced nearer and nearer to the water, feeling the wonder at the cool touch of it. She dropped her basket, telling Comax to watch. She ran out into Wakoma and swam and swam and swam, wild with glee. On and on and on she swam, paying no heed to the dog's cry of danger. On, far from shore she swam, and the friendly moon became obscured as by a black hand, and the next thing she knew, she was being grasped by a fearsome creature who came out of the water near her. Comax, who had failed to make her hear his danger call, swam out with the basket, and as the monster seized his beloved mistress, he stuck his sharp teeth into his hand. Howling with rage, he kicked the dog off, causing him to drop the basket. Grabbing the cat and kittens, he threw them far out into the sea. Sitka held the girl tightly, trying to make her look at him, as his treacherous power lay in his eyes. This she refused to do, telling him she never would, keeping her face toward the friendly moon. At sunrise, her father awoke, and finding his daughter gone, gave the alarm. They all rushed to the sea. Fearfully, they gazed out, seeing the dawn break through the white mist, and then they saw the beautiful face of Iwana lying on the sea, smiling up at the white clouds coming from the north. To the west, they saw her cat and kittens near the beach. Poor Comax baying for his mistress. Behind the large rocks near the shore sits Sika, gazing at Iwana, still trying to catch her eye. But never does she falter. Many, many moons she has been there, and now they have all turned to stone. Written by O.K. Cronenberg.
Okay.